Chapter 553. Being scolded. Zhuang Lingyu secretly glared at Ning Shi and then explained to Ning Ziyuan in a soft voice. Dad, I didn't mean that. You know, no one knows that Cici is mine. I told you early in the morning to announce Cici's identity as soon as possible. Cici was studying abroad before, but now she's back. Since everyone is here today, you tell everyone that Cici is a member of the Ning family. Zhuang Lingyu looked horrified. What? Dad, I can't do that. I won't agree. She looked as if Ning Shi was some extremely terrible and disgusting poisonous snake or beast. In the past, when Ning Shi had just returned to China, she would have been heartbroken to see her biological mother like this, but fortunately, her last hope for them had long disappeared. Ning Tianxin didn't know Ning Shi's psychological changes over the years, and held her hand with distress. Feeling the delicate and soft touch in her palm, Ning Shi's heart warmed and she smiled at Ning Tianxin. That smile was as gentle and bright as the sun, breathtakingly beautiful. This reaction was completely unexpected to Ning Tianxin, and she froze for a moment. Ning Ziyuan and Zhuang Lingyu didn't talk for long and several people came up behind them. They were Ning Yaohua, Ning Xuelua, Ning Yaobang, and his two illegitimate daughters. Except for Ning Yaobang's wife who had a tense relationship with him recently, all the members of the Ning family were here. What's wrong? Why are you quarreling? Ning Yaohua asked with a frown. As soon as he saw Ning Shi, his face immediately darkened. Why are you here? He was wondering why his wife quarreled with his father. Sure enough, every time this girl appeared, something bad would happen. Seeing her husband, Zhuang Lingyu immediately went up to him nervously and said hurriedly, Yaohua, please stop them. Dad is going to announce Cici's identity today. Ning Yaohua was shocked. How can you do that? Dad, are you muddle-headed? Damn it. Did this girl say something to you? Ning Yaohua's eyes shot at Ning Shi like a sharp arrow. Ning Ziyuan hit his crutch hard. Don't slander Xiaoxi. This is my idea. Tell me what's wrong with it. That's right. Why not? Isn't Ning Shi your son? Behind him Ning Yaobang said leisurely. His sarcastic tone angered Ning Yaohua. Shut up. This is none of your business. Ning Yaohua's arrogant attitude irritated Ning Yaobang. He immediately said with a gloomy face, Big brother, I don't like what you said. I'm also a member of the Ning family. How can I have nothing to do with it? Damn it. It's just managing a company. What's so great about it? It's not like I'm getting shares. How dare he shout at him in front of so many people? However, who asked him to have a good daughter? Not only did he pull in so many resources for him, he even found himself a good son-in-law. Was it really as Master Long said, that Ning Xuelua was Ning Yaohua's lucky star? Damn it, Ning Yaohua was so lucky that he took the wrong daughter and brought back a gold ingot. Fortunately, his biological daughter was a good-for-nothing. He couldn't wait for Ning Shi to come back and make Ning Yaohua a mess. 5 years ago, he really saw a lot of good things. Thinking about it made him excited. Chapter 554. Ning Yaohua ignored Ning Yaobang. His top priority was to appease Grandpa Ning. Dad, it's not that I don't want to announce it. It's just that it's too hasty. At first, we told the public that she was an adopted daughter, but now she suddenly became our biological daughter. There must be a reasonable reason. If we don't handle it well, won't we become a laughing stock? Today is your birthday banquet. If something happens, it will be too embarrassing. Hasty. It's been 5 years. You didn't take this matter to heart at all. Why didn't I take it to heart? As soon as Xiaoxi came back, I asked her to arrange a job for her. I was going to let her integrate into the Ning family step by step, and then naturally announce her identity. It was she who insisted on going to the entertainment circle. Now she not only got herself involved in scandals, but also got Xuelua into trouble several times. In fact, he had never thought about revealing Ning Shi's identity at all. The terrible scandal that Ning Shi had sex with 2 male prostitutes and gave birth to a stillborn baby was like a time bomb hanging over his head all the time. If one day this matter was exposed, he could never let others know that Ning Shi was his biological daughter. Ning Ziyuan didn't believe his son so easily this time. Find a job? Tell me, what kind of job did you arrange for Xiaoxi? New Singapore branch. You bastard, Xiaoxi has just come back, and you want to send her so far away again. What do you want Xiaoxi to do in that lousy company of more than 20 people? I'm letting her gain experience, aren't I? I can't just directly put her in the head office. Xiaoxi is my biological granddaughter. Why not? Xiaoxi, you go to the head office tomorrow, to the finance department. Behind him, Ning Xuelua, who had been silent for a long time, finally changed her face when she heard this. From the beginning, what she wanted most was to enter the head office of Ning's, but her identity was too special. If she entered the head office, it would be too easy to arouse suspicion, so she did the opposite. Even if Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu took the initiative to propose, she always declined, saying that she did not covet anything of the Ning family. In the end, Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu loved her even more, and even the old man had nothing to say to her. As for Ning Yaobang's two illegitimate daughters, Grandpa Su was annoyed. They were not a threat at all. Although Ning Tianxin was a legitimate child, she was so infatuated with a man that her mind was not at home. Therefore, Grandpa Su was not worried at all. When she married into the Su family and had enough capital, everything in the Ning family would be hers sooner or later. But now, everything that she had painstakingly built up for so many years was on the verge of collapse because of Ning Shi's sudden appearance. How could she tolerate it? Not only did Ning Yaohua, Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Xuelua's expressions changed, even Ning Yaobang was furious. Dad, are you kidding me? She graduated from a diploma mill and had no work experience at all. How could they let her enter the finance department? If she wants to enter, it should be Tianxin, or Xiaoru, and Xiao Ai can also do it. Second brother, don't be afraid that the wind will cut your tongue. It's true that Tianxin graduated from a university in the capital, but she majored in art, which has nothing to do with the finance department. What else can your two illegitimate daughters do except dress up? Are you trying to make trouble in the company by putting her in the finance department? Dad said last time that when Xuelua got married, he would let her enter the finance department. Chapter 555. Ning Yaohua wanted his daughter to join the company, but he wanted Ning Xue to join the company, not Ning Shi. For him, it was a disaster for Ning Shi to join the company. He didn't mind losing face at home, but if he lost face to the whole company, how could he face others? Furthermore, he had solemnly vowed to the Su family that in the future Xue Luo would be the one to inherit the family business. While they were quarreling, Zhuang Lingyu walked up to Ning Shi, pulled her hard, and gritted her teeth. Why are you still standing here? Hurry up and leave. The house was originally fine, but when you came, it became so noisy. Did you think that on a day like your grandfather's birthday, you would also make a fuss? Although Ning Shi looked indifferent, Ning Tianxin couldn't bear it anymore. Even though she was not good with words, she couldn't help saying, Aunt, your words are biased. Xiaoxi just came to see Grandpa. In order not to disturb you, she even asked me to take Grandpa to the backyard to see him. She didn't say a word or do anything from beginning to end. How could it be her fault? She didn't do anything. It's enough that she just showed up here. Besides, we don't need an outsider like you to meddle in our affairs. At the same time, in the president's office of Lu's group, 2 hours had passed but Ning Shi hadn't come back yet. Xiaobao was leaning against the window as usual, and even Lu Tingxiao began to look at his cell phone frequently. Lu Jingli looked at the father and son, as if he couldn't stand it anymore. Hey, can you two calm down? We haven't seen each other for only 2 hours, okay? Another 5 minutes passed, but she still didn't come back. Lu Tingxiao picked up his phone and dialed Ning Shi's number. However, no one answered. In the Ning's villa, the cell phone in Ning Shi's bag suddenly rang. She looked at the caller ID and found it was Lu Tingxiao. It had been more than 2 hours. He was probably asking her when she would go back. At this time, the Ning family was quarreling. It was not convenient for Ning Shi to answer the phone, so she walked up to her furious grandfather and said softly, Grandpa, let's talk about other things another day. I just came to see you today. I have something urgent to do, so I have to go back. Happy birthday. What urgent matter? Why are you leaving so soon? When the old man heard this, he immediately became anxious. Don't mind these bastards. With Grandpa here, no one can chase you away. Ningxi gently stroked the old man's back, which was undulating because of excitement. Grandpa, I'm really busy recently. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to see you in such a hurry. Xiaoxi, it's Grandpa's fault for making you feel wronged. Ning Ziyuan thought she was comforting him, and that she was in a hurry to leave because Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu's attitudes were too sad, so he was immediately filled with guilt. Ning Xuelua knew it was going to be bad when she saw the old man's expression. Although Ning Yaohua was in charge of the Ning family, the shares were still firmly held in the hands of the old man. If he favored Ning Shi, it would be troublesome. What she was most afraid of was the guilt the old man felt towards Ning Shi. After all, Ning Shi was his own flesh and blood. No matter how unbearable and dirty Ning Shi was, she could destroy what she had been working for years with just a soft word. Just because of the damn bloodline? Just because she didn't have the blood of the Ning family. She had to work 1,000 times harder to get what Ning she could easily get. Chapter 556. If Ning she got the inheritance, what would happen to her? She couldn't bear the thought of going back to that remote village and living a poor life every day. Even if the Ning family didn't drive her away, she couldn't bear to be submissive to Ning Shi in the future. She was the lady of the Ning family. She was born as the lady of the Ning family. Why did this bitch take everything away? Yes, she was the lady of the Ning family, the only lady of the Ning family. Even her bloodline couldn't change that. Ning Xuelua took a deep breath and calmed down. She walked over and took Ning Shi's arm, her voice trembling and her face full of anxiety. Sister, don't go, okay? Please don't be angry with Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad have been arranging for your identity to be revealed, but you don't want to come back or come to the company. Blame me. It's all my fault. You can beat me or scold me. If you really don't want to see me, I'll leave now. But sister, please don't go. Even if you don't want to see us, think about Grandpa. Grandpa really misses you. You should at least have a piece of Grandpa's birthday cake before you go, right? No matter how urgent it is, it can't be more important than Grandpa's birthday. Ning Xuelua's words were so skillful. She blamed Ning Shi for not revealing her identity and not entering the company. At the same time, she showed how hard it was for her to live in the Ning family because of her awkward identity. Most importantly, she showed her filial piety to Grandpa. Zhuang Lingyu was distressed. Xuelua, what are you talking about? Where are you going? It's not you who should go. Seeing Ning Xuelua trying to persuade Ning Shi to stay, even Grandpa Ning's face eased a lot. He certainly wouldn't let Ning Xuelua go, but he tried to persuade Ning Shi again. Cici, it's rare for you to come back. Stay a little longer. Ah. Looking at the old man's hopeful eyes, Ning Shi was silent for a while and finally nodded. Okay. She definitely couldn't satisfy the old man about having a baby. She was destined to let down all the expectations and kindness of Grandpa. She couldn't be the lady of the Ning family, enter the company, or return to the Ning family. So at this moment, she couldn't bear to refuse such a simple request on his birthday. That's great, that's great. Come into the house. It's winter and it's cold outside. Grandpa Ning's face brightened up. With the help of Ning Tianxin and Ning Shi, he happily entered the house. Ning Xuelua stood behind them alone, watching Ning Ziyuan being supported by Ning Tianxin and Ning Shi. A cold glint flashed in her eyes. Seeing that the old man was finally appeased, Zhuang Lingyu finally heaved a sigh of relief. With a face full of affection, she walked to Ning Xueluo and held her hand. Xueluo, you've been wronged. No matter what happened in the family, she was always so sensible, and could always consider the big picture. Ning Yahua also looked distressed. He sighed and said, Xueluo, don't take what he said to heart. Grandpa hasn't seen Xiaoxi for a long time, so he was a little excited and said those words casually. Now Dad has the final say in the company. Don't worry. Thank you, Mom, Dad. I understand. After comforting her grandpa, Ningxi took the time to reply to Lu Tingxiao, who had just called her. I'm going to stay with my grandpa for a while, so I may come back late. Take Xiaobao home first. I'll pick him up at the Platinum Palace later. In the office, Lu Tingxiao's face darkened when he saw this message. Lu Tingxiao knew very well that no matter how tough Ningxi looked, there was still a place that she couldn't touch, and that was the Ning family. He knew a little about what she had gone through when she was in the Ning family. Although Ningxi's message sounded easy, how could he let her be alone in that kind of place? Chapter 557. When Ningxi followed Grandpa Ning into the banquet hall, there was a lot of discussion in the hall. Who is the girl on the left of Grandpa Ning? Why did she come dressed like this? I heard Grandpa Ning call her Xiaoxi. Is she the adopted daughter from the countryside, Ningxi? Oh, it's her. It's been 5 years. Why is she still like this? She hasn't made any progress at all. She's really a good for nothing. Haha, 5 years ago, she still wore some branded replicas. Now she doesn't even have the basic taste. Today Ningxi had brought Gong Shangzi and Xiaobao to the furniture city to buy things to decorate the studio, so she dressed more casually and conveniently. She directly went out with jeans and a leather coat. Her long hair was tied into a ponytail and casually thrown behind her head, looking very neat. However, on such an occasion where all the ladies were wearing long dresses and high heels, she looked very out of place. Grandpa Ning was immersed in the joy of his granddaughter's return, and didn't notice what Ningxi was wearing. He kept chatting with Ningxi until Zhuang Lingyu reminded him that there were many guests waiting. Then he asked Ning Tianxin to accompany Ningxi to eat something, and he went to greet the guests. As soon as Grandpa Ning left, Zhuang Lingyu's face changed. She looked at Ningxi and said, "Look at what you're wearing. Don't you know what day it is?" Ning Xuelua tried to smooth things over. "Mom, don't blame her. She must have come in a hurry and didn't have time to change." With that, she walked up to Ningxi cautiously, fearing that Ningxi would be angry. "Sister, let me take you upstairs to change your clothes. What are you waiting for? Go and change with Xuelu. Busy, not doing a single proper thing. I don't know what you're busy with all day long." For Zhuang Lingyu, Ningxi was the shame of her life. She couldn't bear to look at her. If she was scolded by Zhuang Lingyu like this in the past, Ningxi would have been too ashamed to show her face. Now she just glanced at her lightly. "Oh, I won't embarrass you whether I change it or not. Isn't Mrs. Ning being too nosy?" Then she took Ning Tianxin's arm and walked to the dessert area. "You." Zhuang Lingyu was furious. "Xuelua, look at her. Does she still care about me? No rules at all." Ning Xuelua was gloating in her heart, but she kept comforting Zhuang Lingyu and putting in a good word for Ningxi. However, the more she spoke for Ningxi, the more Zhuang Lingyu hated her. On the other side, Ningxi held Ning Tianxin's arm and found a place to sit down. Then she poured herself a glass of wine. She didn't feel like she had intruded into a place she shouldn't have. Instead, it was as if this was her backyard, and everything in front of her was just a funny show. Ning Tianxin looked at the lazy and casual girl in front of her, and finally couldn't help but be amazed. "Xiaoxi, I haven't seen you for so many years, you've really changed a lot." Ningxi raised an eyebrow. Really? 5 years ago, when she was discovered wearing a fake dress, she was as helpless as if she was standing naked in front of everyone. Under the ridiculing words and contemptuous gazes, she felt that her whole world was about to collapse. But now, in comparison, it seemed that the changes were indeed quite big. Chapter 558. In fact, before she came here, Ningxi was a little nervous and repulsed at the thought of meeting so many people who used to be in the Ning family's circle. After all, the shadow of the past was so deep that it still appeared in her nightmares. However, when she really appeared here, when she was faced with the mockery of those people, including her biological parents, and Ning Xuelua's usual hypocrisy, she did not feel the anxiety that she expected. She did not even feel angry or resentful. It turned out that time could really change a person. Before she realized it, she had already calmly faced the things that she once cared about the most. "Yes, you're not only beautiful, but also confident. Your eyes are very charming. How should I put it? There's an indescribable power in them. It even gives me the feeling of a phoenix rising from the ashes." Ning Tianxin said excitedly, and then she felt sorry for her. A person couldn't change for no reason. Ningxi didn't know what she had been through to become like this. 5 years ago, Ning Tianxin suddenly went abroad. She always felt it was strange, but she didn't want to ask. Ningxi chuckled and held her chin. "Cousin, You're so artistic when you compliment me. I'm serious. Ning Tianxin said. Ningxi took a sip of wine and sighed. Alas, love leads to worry and love leads to fear. If you leave your lover, you won't have any worries or fears. Maybe it's because you don't care anymore, so you naturally become like this. You can be strong without desire. Hearing this, Ning Tianxin's face turned pale. Xiaoxi, don't be so stupid. Why do I feel like you're saying that everything is void? Ahem. Ningxi didn't expect that she would scare Ning Tianxin. She hurriedly comforted her. Sister Xian, I'm just joking. Don't be nervous. Sweat. She was currently fascinated by the beauty of the great demon king. How could she escape into emptiness? It would be great if she could really be emptiness. Ningxi chatted with Ning Tianxin in a relaxed manner. The people who were talking about Ningxi's outfit saw that Ningxi didn't seem to care at all, and gradually stopped talking because of boredom. Their main task today was to please Ning Yaohua and the old man, not to pay attention to an insignificant adopted daughter. As night fell, more and more guests arrived, and the banquet hall became even livelier. Because Ning Yaohua had just made the old man unhappy, he was trying to please him in all kinds of ways. He had people bring out the birthday gift that he had long prepared. The gift he prepared was an exquisitely crafted red coral screen with 8 treasures. It was expensive, and everyone praised Ning Yaohua for his good taste and filial piety. The old man took a look and only said some polite words. He didn't look too happy and was obviously still angry. Ning Xuelua gave her father a reassuring look, and then glanced at Ningxi imperceptibly. Then she walked up to Grandpa Ning with a hollow-carved wooden box in her hand. Grandpa, I wish you a happy birthday. This is the birthday gift I picked for you. I hope you like it. Seeing this, Zhuang Lingyu immediately said, Dad, hurry up and open it. Xue Luo's company recently earned some money, and she used her own money to buy it for you. I said I would buy it for her, but she insisted on buying it herself. She said that was the only way to show her sincerity. Grandpa Ning took a look at his granddaughter, took the box from her hand and slowly opened it. After seeing the gift in the box, he was moved. Inside the box was a jade bead bracelet. Chapter 559. Ning Yaohua's gift was a waste of money, but Ning Xuelua's gift showed that she had put a lot of thought into it. She knew that he loved jade and that he loved Buddha, so she chose a bracelet made of jade beads for him. Ning Xuelua stood quietly in front of him while Ning Ziyuan looked at the bracelet carefully. Grandpa Ning's heart softened when he saw the uneasiness in her eyes. He had doted on Ning Xuelua since she was a child. Even when he found out that she wasn't his biological daughter, he had never mistreated her and treated her like his own granddaughter. He just couldn't stand the way his eldest son and daughter-in-law treated Ningxi. Ning Ziyuan sighed deeply and softened his tone. Good girl, you're so considerate. I like this gift very much. Ning Xuelua looked relieved. Her eyes even turned red because of her grandpa's praise. She said excitedly, Grandpa, I'm glad you like it. Grandpa Ning felt sad when he saw the girl's true feelings. He couldn't bear to drag her down because of his son and daughter-in-law, so he said a few words of concern and encouragement. Career is important, but you have to take care of your health, especially a girl like you. Don't work too hard. Ning Xuelua nodded heavily and looked touched. I know, Grandpa. Seeing that their father's face had completely softened, Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Yaohua looked at each other, and saw that Ning Xuelua's expression was full of pride. The relatives and guests also began to flatter Ning Xuelua. Wow, the quality of this bracelet is really good. It must be at least 2 or 3 million yuan, right? That's nothing. Xuelua's clothing brand history has made at least 10 million yuan this quarter. Plus, she's a superstar. Grandpa Ning, you're so lucky. Your children and grandchildren are so good. And so filial. In the corner, Ning Shi, who was chatting with Ning Tianxin, frowned when she saw Ning Xuelua's gift for her grandpa. What a coincidence. Ning Xuelua's gift was the same as hers, a bracelet made of jade beads? While she was wondering, she suddenly saw Ning Xuelua secretly looking at her. Ning Xuelua's eyes fell on the gift on the table. She clearly knew what she was going to give Grandpa, so she deliberately chose the same one. Obviously, Ning Xuelua's bracelet was at least 10 times more expensive than hers. She wanted to make a fool of herself in front of everyone. As expected, Ning Xuelua secretly revealed a strange smile. She then obediently looked at the old man and said, "Grandpa, I heard that my sister also prepared a gift for you." Ning Xuelua had an innocent expression on her face when she said that. It was as if she said it to make her grandfather happy. Now Ningxi's identity had not been disclosed. She was just an adopted daughter. Even if she made a fool of herself, it had nothing to do with Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu. Not only that, but it could also make Grandpa hate her. It was the best of both worlds. Ning Xuelua and she of Grandpa of her. He looked at her happily. She Ning of she. And of she. Ning Tianxin looked at Ning Xuelua and then at Ningxi. She sensed that something was wrong. Xiaoxi wait. Although she didn't know what Ning Xuelua wanted to do, she knew very well that Ning Xuelua wouldn't deliberately set Ningxi up with her grandfather, nor would she suddenly give Ningxi a chance to show her face on such an occasion. Chapter 560. Check your present. I suspect that Ning Xuelua has done something to it. Ning Tianxin warned. There must be something fishy going on. Ningxi chuckled and went close to Ning Tianxin. Cousin, you're so smart. There's definitely something wrong with the present, but I've always kept it with me. It wasn't tampered with. Then, Ning Tianxin was even more suspicious. I don't know how Ning Xuelua found out what I gave grandfather. Her present is exactly the same as mine. Oh, of course, it must be much more expensive than mine. Ning Tianxin suddenly understood. Then what should we do? Even if grandfather doesn't mind, we won't be able to stop people from gossiping. Xiaoxi, let me change something for you? It's okay. As long as grandfather doesn't mind, that's enough. Ningxi took the present and walked up to the elder. Grandfather, happy birthday. Ning Tianxin was worried at first, but for some reason, she suddenly understood and calmed down. She was really confused. Firstly, Ningxi did not want to be the daughter of the Ning family. Secondly, she did not want the Ning family's inheritance. No matter what people said, it would not affect her. What she needed to care about was her grandfather's attitude. As he watched his granddaughter finally return home, the elder was already very happy even if he did not see the present. He smiled and said, "Grandfather is already very happy that you're back. There's no need to prepare a present. It's not easy for you to work outside. No matter what, it's still sister's good intentions. Grandfather, quickly open it and take a look." Ning Xuelua suppressed the urge in her eyes and said, Okay. The elder opened the gift box carefully. The moment he opened the box, the elder was obviously stunned, but very quickly he returned to normal and looked lovingly at Ningxi. They say that girls are very considerate. Looks like that's true. You thought of the same thing and gave grandfather what he likes. Ning Xuelua's eyes turned cold when she heard this. Indeed, because it was a gift from his own granddaughter. He would like it even if it was of inferior quality, right? Everyone else saw what Ningxi had given and was shocked. What a coincidence. She had given him the same thing? At this moment, Ning Xuelua's close friends beside her started to speak. Ying Fongling glanced at the string of jade beads with a look of disdain. That's not the same. Just now, Xue Luo's jade beads were of the highest quality. This one is simply a worthless scrap. How can it be the same? Jin Xianxian also spoke righteously. Ningxi, weren't you just poached by Glory World Entertainment? He must have made a lot of money. Why did you buy such a defective product for your grandfather? In any case, this is your grandfather's 70th birthday. What kind of intentions do you have for giving me such a cheap gift? Don't you know that jade has spiritual energy? It can be used to nourish people, but it can also harm people. This last sentence could be said to be heart-wrenching. Suddenly, Ningxi became the target of public criticism. Don't say that. Maybe he really is doing very badly. Someone said with a smile that was not a smile. If you can't afford it, then give something else. Why do you have to give something like jade? You don't know. People from the countryside are all like this. They all like to pretend to know something when they don't. How would they know the taboos of jade? The more Ning Ziyuan listened to the discussions, the worse his expression became. He was very unhappy. Just as he was about to speak, A bespectacled old man in the crowd suddenly said in a serious tone. Young friends, allow this old man to say something. The taboo of jade is not the value of the jade. In fact, the quality of a piece of jade can be measured by many standards. Even if it's a normal piece of jade, if it's nurtured properly, or if it's sculpted by a master or blessed by an eminent monk, it can be a priceless treasure. As the old man said this, he paused and stared at the string of jade beads that Ningxi had given to the elder. And this string can be said to be a priceless treasure. Chapter 561. What? Priceless treasure? Are you kidding me? Ying Fonglin screamed in disbelief. Jin Xuanxuan's expression changed. She pulled her aside and said, Don't talk nonsense. He's Elder Shi. Which Elder Shi? Ying Fonglin froze. The one from the Jade family. Shi Boi. Jin Xianxian reminded her. Ah. It's him. But that's impossible. Last time when we were gossiping with Xue Luo and those female celebrities, they said that Ningxi bought a string of jade worth less than 150,000 yuan from Baoyu Pavilion as a birthday gift for the old man. Did I hear it wrong? No, that's what they said last time. But Elder Shi couldn't have seen it wrong. That's weird. Hearing Shi Boyi's words and Ying Fonglin's and Jin Xuanxuan's discussion, Ning Xue's expression changed slightly. But she was still calm. She knew that Ningxi's string of jade beads was worth 150,000 yuan at most. She couldn't be wrong about that. Although Shi Boyi was highly respected and had been in the jade business for his entire life, he might have made a mistake. In fact, there weren't many people who knew about jade. So when they saw Ningxi's string of jade beads, it was Ning Xue's close friends who were talking about it. The others only agreed when they saw how confident they were. Now that Elder Shi actually came out to speak, and even said that it was a priceless treasure, the moment he opened his mouth, everyone was puzzled and didn't know who to listen to. Even Ning Ziyuan was a little suspicious. Although he was just a hobbyist and didn't know as much as Shi Boi, he still knew a little. Ningxi's jade was good, but it couldn't be priceless. Ning Ziyuan was puzzled. Elder Shi, what do you mean? What priceless treasure? Shi Boi pondered for a moment, and didn't dare to jump to a conclusion. He said hesitantly, Ziyuan, can you let me take a closer look at your string of jade beads? Ning Ziyuan had no choice but to give him the jade. Shi Boi looked at it carefully for a long time. Finally, he took out a magnifying glass and stared at one of the beads. The more he looked, the more excited he became. What did you discover? Ning Ziyuan asked anxiously. The other onlookers were also very curious at this moment. They whispered to each other as they watched. Most of them did not believe that this jade was a priceless treasure. They thought that Shi Boi must have made a mistake due to his old age. Ningxi, are you sure there's nothing wrong with the jade? Ning Tianxin was still worried that Ning Xuelua would tamper with it. Ningxi shrugged innocently. I can only guarantee that there will be no problem after I buy it. It couldn't be that Bao Yuxian cheated her and gave her a jade with a problem, right? The shop assistant who served her seemed to be a nice person. Could he have been bribed by Su Yimo? Ningxi couldn't help but have some conspiracy theories. Finally, Shi Boi finished reading. After he was done, he suddenly took off a jade bead bracelet from his hand, brought it to Ning Ziyuan, and asked, Ziyuan, what do you think of this bracelet? As soon as Ning Ziyuan saw the bracelet, his eyes turned red. He said angrily, You old man, that's enough. Isn't it just a jade bead that your grandson gave you? You've shown it off 800 times, and it's still not enough. Chapter 562. Hearing Ning Ziyuan's words, the old fellows around him all joined in and teased him. Old Shi is not kind. He says it to everyone he meets. His grandson gave it to him. He asked Master Xianjing to bless it for several months. We've heard so much about his filial piety. He knows that old Ning admires Master Xianjing the most and has begged him many times, but he still shows off in front of him. Ha 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 ha. Today is old Ning's birthday. Don't provoke him anymore. Is it that rare to see Master Xianjing's blessed Buddha beads? Listening to the discussion of the old men, someone in the crowd who didn't know what was going on muttered suspiciously. When Shi Boi heard that, he immediately said solemnly, Of course. Master Xianjing is a truly accomplished monk, and he doesn't consecrate people easily. It doesn't matter how much money you have to donate to the Bodhisattva golden body. You have to be sincere, and most importantly, you have to be fated. These beads that had been consecrated were hard to come by. It's a priceless treasure. Although Xianjing kept a low profile and not many people knew about him, the old and experienced people still knew about him. Hearing this, they were all in awe. It's indeed hard to find. It's said that the person in the province went there personally, but didn't get one. Not to mention the sincerity, the most difficult thing is to find a fated person. It's illusory. Who knows what it means to be a fated person? It's too difficult, so it's even rarer. Otherwise, how could old Shi be so smug for so long? He's going to use it as a family heirloom. The most important thing is that it works. Old Shi was so sick before. And no, why did old Shi suddenly mention this? Wasn't he looking at old Ning's string of beads? In the whispers, Shi Boyi stared at the string of beads that Ning Shi gave him for a long time before he finally returned it to Ning Ziyuan. Then he looked at Ning Shi meaningfully and said, "Little girl, you must have put in a lot of effort to bless this string of jade Buddha beads, right?" From what Shi Boyi said, the string of beads that Ning Shi gave to old Master Ning was also blessed by Xianjing. How was this possible? Since it was so hard to find, how could Ning Shi, a wild girl from the countryside, get it? Ning Shi. After listening to so much, she didn't understand a single word. This old gentleman, was he sure he was praising her beads to the heavens? She said that she spent less than 150,000 to buy it from the Treasure Jade Pavilion, and she didn't even know who Great Master Xianjing was. Would he believe her? Ying Fonglin whispered to Ning Xuelua with disdain. It's just a bead consecrated by a monk. What's there to be surprised about? Priceless treasure? Ning Xuelua bit her lips and shook her head sadly. Fonglin, don't say that. Grandpa admires Master Xianjing very much. This was also the reason why Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu firmly believed Long Fanin's words back then. But the old master didn't take it to heart. The old man didn't really trust Long Fanin. Therefore, even if she was unwilling in her heart, she couldn't say it out loud because old Master Ning admired Master Xianjing very much. Otherwise, wouldn't she be slapping old Master Ning in the face? Ying Fonglin couldn't stand it anymore when she saw Ning Xuelua trying to keep the peace. Xuelua, why are you so easy to bully? I'll help you get justice. Ying Fonglin wanted to stand up for her. A gleam of success flashed across Ning Xuelua's eyes, and she made an even sadder expression. Ying Fonglin was the most brainless person and very easy to use. Chapter 563. For example, it wasn't appropriate for Zhuang Lingyu or Ning Yaohua to speak on this occasion. It was best for an outsider like Ying Fonglin to speak. As expected, Ying Fonglin immediately said, "Even if that master had blessed it, couldn't he have bought some good beads? It doesn't suit the old master's status to wear such a cheap thing." At this moment, Shi Boyi couldn't bear it anymore. He didn't want to argue with the younger generation, so he said directly, "Hee hee, little girl, isn't this string of beads good enough? If you must tell me the price, then I can tell you that this string is much more expensive than Shui Luo's." What? Shui Luo's string cost 2 million. Ying Fonglin's eyes widened as she blurted out. Even Ning Xuelua, Jin Xianxian, and the others were shocked, not to mention Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Yaohua. Their first reaction was that it was impossible. Where did she get so much money from? Shi Boyi explained with certainty, Shui Luo's string is also of the highest quality, the old pit glass type. What's even rarer is that all these beads were taken from the same stone, and the color is very even and complete. Naturally, it's more expensive than that string. Ying Fonglin frowned. Elder Shi, are you seeing things? Before Shi Boyi's expression changed, Ning Ziyuan couldn't help but say unhappily, "Little girl, don't talk nonsense. How could Elder Shi be wrong? Shui Luo's is indeed more expensive." He didn't say it because he didn't want to embarrass Ning Xuelua, who knew that these ignorant little girls would keep talking nonsense, so he had to explain. Even Elder Ning spoke up. This time, everyone had to believe it no matter how much they didn't want to believe it. I really didn't expect this adopted daughter's gift to be more expensive than Miss Ning's. This is really a big blunder. It's really embarrassing. The same gift, but the adopted daughter's gift is better than hers in every way. Tisk tsk, looks like we've underestimated this country girl. It's been 5 years and she's amazing. Actually, I wanted to ask just now. Is this really the country girl from back then? If you didn't tell me, I almost didn't recognize her. She's quite beautiful now. Isn't that right? Back then, no matter how beautiful she was still timid and couldn't go on stage. Now she has the aura of a rich young lady. Ning Xueluo's expression changed completely. Not only was Ning Shi's bracelet blessed by Master Xianjing, but it was also more expensive than hers? How was this possible? Didn't the female artist she chatted with last time see Ning Shi buy a string of Buddha beads worth more than 100,000 yuan with their own eyes? What exactly went wrong? Damn it, she had spent so much effort to set up this scene. But in the end, the one who was humiliated was actually herself. Whether it was her sincerity or her value, she had completely lost. She had even let Ning Shi steal the limelight. Shi Boyi patted Ning Ziyuan and sighed. Hey Ziyuan, you're really lucky. No wonder you want to adopt this girl. She is indeed a good child with filial piety. Most importantly, to be able to receive Master Xianjing's blessing. What a blessing! By the way, Ziyuan, how old is your granddaughter? What is your zodiac sign? She should be around the same age as my grandson, right? Ning Ziyuan was fondly stroking the string of Buddha beads. When he heard this, he immediately revealed a vigilant expression. Old man, what are you trying to do? You even have designs on my granddaughter? Chapter 564. What adoption? She was his granddaughter. Old man, how can you call that a scheme? My grandson is handsome and filial. If it weren't for the fact that this little girl looks as good as my grandson, I wouldn't be willing to accept her. Humph, so you know what my granddaughter looks like. How can an ordinary boy be worthy of her? Show me your grandson's photo first. She had seen Shiboyi's grandson, but that was several years ago. Who knew if he had grown crooked or not? Fine. I'm afraid you'll scheme against my grandson if you see it. Ningxi. Why did the topic suddenly go in that direction? Were all the old people's brains so jumpy? Probably not, but when the old people gathered together, there was an 80% chance that they would end up talking about this topic. No, that wasn't the point. The point was, how could her jade Buddha bracelet, which was worth 150,000 yuan with a 20% discount, become a priceless treasure that Master Xianjing had blessed for more than 2 million yuan? Treasure Pavilion. The shop assistant who suddenly changed her attitude, she seemed to understand something. Could it be? What do you think, old Ning? Isn't he a good-looking man? Shiboyi looked smug. Ning Ziyuan looked at the handsome and elegant man in the photo and his eyes lit up, but he still didn't say anything. Photos can be photoshopped. I can't believe it. Shiboyi was so angry that he simply said, Hey you old man, since you don't believe it, I'll call him out next time and bring him to you. Okay. That's more like it. Just when Ning Shi was in a daze, she was inexplicably set up for a blind date. What's going on? Grandpa, calm down. Unfortunately, the two old people were already talking about the details of their meeting, and couldn't hear her at all. Seeing Ning Shi's dumbfounded look, Ning Tianxin laughed. In fact, Mr. Shi's grandson is quite a good person. You can meet him. Ning Shi held her forehead and said, I'm not in the mood for that now. Hearing this, Ning Tianxin looked a little worried. Xiaoxi, are you still worried about Su Yan? Speak of the devil. At this moment, a servant ran in happily and reported, Master, our son-in-law is here. Everyone's gaze immediately turned towards the door. Son-in-law? Who is it? Who else could it be? Ning Xueluo is the only young lady of the Ning family. Naturally, it's the young master of the Su family, Su Yan. As he spoke, everyone saw a man dressed in a black suit walk straight in from the door. Behind the man was a person who looked like an assistant, holding a rectangular box in his hand. Seeing the person who came, Ying Fonglin pushed the person beside her excitedly. Xueluo, your husband is here, hurry up and go. Don't talk nonsense, not yet. Ning Xueluo's heartbeat quickened when she saw the handsome and charming man in front of her. The unhappiness she felt because of the gift was immediately forgotten. Jin Xianxian also teased. You've already agreed to his proposal, aren't you? Ying Fonglin didn't even blink. Oh my god, your Su Yan is getting more and more handsome. Ning Xueluo's face flushed. She scolded them for a while, and then walked gracefully towards Su Yan. Brother Yan, you're here. Chapter 565. Su Yan gently held the girl's slender hand. The two of them looked at each other and smiled, their eyes filled with affection for each other. Then they walked toward Ning Ziyuan together. The two of them, one in a black suit and the other in a white dress, were a perfect match and instantly became the focus of everyone's attention. Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Yaohua both revealed extremely gratified expressions. Elder Ning was naturally very satisfied with Su Yan, his grandson-in-law, and said with a kind expression, Su Yan is here. Back then, because of Ning Shi's identity, the Su family didn't allow her to date Su Yan. Later, although she returned to the Ning family, the Ning family didn't disclose her identity, so Ning Shi and Su Yan had been dating secretly. When she was pregnant and couldn't hide it anymore, she told her family about her relationship with Su Yan. At that time, Su Yan had lost contact with her abroad. Zhuang Lingyu didn't easily believe Ning Shi's words. She ordered her to stay at home and not to go anywhere. Before Su Yan came back, no one was allowed to find out that she was pregnant before marriage. Therefore, even the old man didn't know that Ning Shi was pregnant with a child. At that time, Ning's international wasn't very stable, and Grandpa Ning didn't spend much time at home. He only knew that Ning Shi went abroad to study after a serious illness, and Su Yan, who often came to visit, began to date Ning Xueluo. Grandpa, happy birthday! Su Yan took the rectangular gift box from his assistant and handed it over with both hands. The old man smiled and nodded. Good boy. Su Yan gave the old man a painting by a famous calligrapher, which was priceless. Not to mention Ning Shi's jade bead bracelet, all the gifts in the hall were inferior to his. All the guests in the room were astonished when they saw this. The Su family is really generous. Even a random birthday gift is an antique. With the Su family's current power, they can easily find a lady with a better family background. Why did they choose Ning Xueluo? You probably don't know about this. It is said that Master Long personally calculated the 8 characters of the Ning family's eldest young lady. He said that she would bring prosperity to her husband and family. Many people came to propose marriage. Unfortunately, eldest young lady Ning had already been betrothed to the Su family. I know Master Long. I heard it's very powerful. Actually, I wanted to ask just now, who is this Master Xianjing that they have been talking about? I've never even heard of it, okay? Isn't Long Fanning the most famous person in the circle now? Of course it's Long Fanning. It's just that the old man still believes in those eminent monks from famous temples more. In fact, their thinking is too old-fashioned. The real experts are all among the common people. Seeing Su Yan, Ning Tianxin became nervous. She was meticulous and had discovered the relationship between Ning Shi and Su Yan years ago. She was worried that Ning Shi would be upset when she saw Su Yan. Just as she was about to comfort Ning Shi, Su Yan and Ning Xueluo were already walking towards them. Su Yan looked at Ning Shi and smiled. Xiaoxi, you're here too. Grandpa will be very happy. Ning Shi nodded slightly, her expression unreadable. How have you been recently? Su Yan asked with concern. It's all right. Xiaoxi, when are you free? Let's get together. Su Yan was about to say something when Zhuang Lingyu hurriedly walked towards them. Seeing Ning Shi talking to Su Yan, Zhuang Lingyu urged, Xueluo, Su Yan, I've been looking for you everywhere. Why are you here? Go and greet the guests. Got it, Mom. Sister, please excuse us. Ning Xueluo glanced at Ning Shi out of the corner of her eye. Because of Zhuang Lingyu's protection, she showed a very proud look. Chapter 566. The banquet hall was bustling with noise and excitement. There were many guests, some of whom Ning Shi knew. Ning Xueluo was chatting with Li Leilang, whom she had met at the audition in Luo City. Next to her was her mother, Guo Hui, the CEO of Lingtian Apparel. Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu were entertaining her warmly. As more and more guests came in, almost all of them chatted happily with Ning Xuelua. The guests looked at Ning Xuelua differently. This Miss Ning is so capable. She has such a wide network at such a young age. Alas, it's infuriating to compare with others. My good-for-nothing son always wants to be a star, but he doesn't even have a chance after spending so much money on it. He's not like her. He's doing business and running a company. Outside the door, a servant who was in charge of welcoming guests suddenly stumbled over. Eldest young master, eldest young mistress, outside, outside. Ning Yahua pulled a long face. What's going on outside? Why are you so flustered? The servant's face was full of anxiety. No. Master, there's an important guest outside. An important guest? Ning Yahua was still displeased. What important guest? Why are you so flustered? With the Ning family's current status, they didn't have to be so nervous even if it was an important guest. In the corner, Ning Shi looked at the servant, who looked as if she had seen a ghost. She was curious. What did Ning Xuelua do this time? The helper explained incoherently. Just now, a car suddenly stopped at the entrance, but the people in the car didn't get out immediately. They just stayed there. I didn't pay much attention at first, but the car looked very expensive. I subconsciously looked at the license plate and realized that it seemed to be the Lu family's car. Ning Yahua and Zhuang Lingyu's expressions changed. What? The Lu family? Which Lu family? The servant stuttered. Lu Group. Pfft. Ning Shi spat out a mouthful of juice. What? Lu Enterprises? Could it be Lu Tingxiao? No way, no way. How could the devil come here? Well, Sister Xian, I'll go out and make a call. Ning Shi was still worried. Finally, she went out and secretly called Lu Tingxiao. The phone only rang once before it was picked up. Then the man's deep voice sounded, hello. The other end of the phone was very quiet, and he couldn't tell where the background was. Ning Shi swallowed and asked, Hey, Lu Tingxiao, where are you now? Lu Tingxiao, the Ning family's front door. Ning Shi was speechless. Cough, cough, cough. Damn it. It really is you. Why are you here? Lu Tingxiao said. Xiaobao asked for you when you didn't come back. Hearing Xiaobao, Ning Shi's heart immediately softened. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't expect to be delayed for so long. But I should be finished here soon. I'll go back as soon as possible. Lu Tingxiao. Okay, we'll wait for you. Ning Shi. What she meant was, for him to take Xiaobao back first. What if there was another delay, and she couldn't get away so quickly? She was just thinking about how to persuade them not to wait for her when there was a sound from the other end of the phone. It seemed to be a different person. Then she heard a dying voice. Sister-in-law, I've been waiting for you for so long that I'm going to freeze into an ice cube. When are you going to finish? Hurry up, okay? Chapter 567. Lu Jingli was here too? Ning Shi was completely speechless. Why did 1, 2, and 3 of them all come here? While Ning Shi was on the phone with Lu Tingxiao, Ning Yaohua, Zhuang Lingyu, and Ning Yaobang had already gone to the entrance to receive the guest. As the commotion was rather loud, some guests inevitably noticed it. They looked out and asked suspiciously, Who's here? What a big scene. Ning Yaohua even went out to receive them personally. Ning Yaobang also rushed out to receive them. I heard some people say they're from the Lu family. The Lu family? Heh, you must be joking. This was like saying that the emperor suddenly came to a local official's house for a meal. Wasn't this a fantasy? Of course I don't think it's possible, but I heard the servants from the Ning family say that there's a car with the Lu family's number plate parked outside. Did you see wrongly? I don't think so. Although it's the Lu family's car, they didn't say that the heads of the family would come personally. It's impossible no matter how prestigious they are. Maybe the Ning family really has some connections with the Lu family, and their higher-ups told their servants to come to the old master's birthday banquet to give him a gift. It's not impossible, right? Now that you mention it, it's indeed possible. If they have connections with the Lu family, the Ning family is really something. What the hell? What kind of luck has the Ning family had these years? Could it be that Master Long's divination for Miss Ning was real? At the entrance of the Ning family, Where is she? Ning Yaohua asked the greeter anxiously. In the car. The greeter wiped his sweat and replied with a trembling voice. Why hasn't she alighted? I don't know either. There hasn't been any movement since the car stopped. Ning Yaohua thought for a moment and said, forget it. It's inevitable that the people sent by the Liu family are a little arrogant. I'll go invite her personally. Second bro, you better watch out later. Don't talk nonsense. Ning Yaobang was immediately displeased. What do you mean by that? Can't I even speak? Look at the situation now. I'm not in the mood to quarrel with you. You'd better behave yourself. Otherwise, if you offend an esteemed guest, you and I won't have a good time. Ning Yaohua coldly berated. Ning Yaobang also knew that this matter was of great importance. With an embarrassed expression, he said, I know. I won't say anything, okay? So Ning Yaohua, Zhuang Lingyu, Ning Yaobang, and a few servants walked straight to the black Maybach with their backs straight. The back window of the car was open a crack, so they could definitely hear the people outside. Ning Yaohua warmly said, honored guests have come to visit. This Ning has not gone out to greet you. I hope you can forgive me. 1 second passed, 2 seconds passed, 3 seconds passed. Ning Yaohua's face was almost stiff from smiling, but there was not the slightest movement inside. Could it be that he did not hear it? Ning Yaohua coughed lightly and continued. You must be tired from the long journey. Would you like to come in and have a drink? There was still no sound. Ning Yaohua's face darkened. He lowered his voice and asked a servant behind him. Are you sure there's someone in the car? Of course there is. No one has gotten out of the car since it arrived. The person must be inside. The servant replied with certainty. Ning Yaohua's face was unusually grave when he heard that. What was going on? Why didn't the person come out? He had even come to greet them personally. Was there anything that he did wrong? Chapter 568. Zhuang Lingyu seemed to have thought of something and pulled Ning Yaohua over. Yaohua, come here. What's wrong? Say, do you think the Liu family, are they here for our Shui Luo? Zhuang Lingyu probed. Shui Luo? Yeah. Aren't many guests here for Shui Luo? Some of them are even Shui Luo's fans. Shui Luo's studio has been developing so well. Ning Yaohua's face lit up. You're right. But why didn't Shui Luo tell me about it? We'll know when we ask her later. I'll call Shui Luo over now. All right. Go. Ning Yaohua urged. The few of them retreated to the door. Soon Ning Shueluo came out. Dad, Mom, what's wrong? Why did you call me out in such a hurry? Ning Yaohua looked at her seriously. Shueluo, tell me honestly. Do you know anyone from the Liu group? Ning Shueluo pondered. Liu group? Yes. Ning Yaohua looked nervous. I don't think so. Ning Shueluo replied without hesitation. She wanted to, but no matter how capable she was, it was impossible for her to be related to the Liu group. Ning Yaohua looked fearfully in the direction of the car and said in a low voice, Shui Luo, think about it carefully. Right now, the Liu family's car is parked outside our house. What? Ning Shui Luo was startled when she heard that. She looked at the car and tried to recall what had happened. Have you thought about it, Shui Luo? Have you met anyone from the Liu group recently? Zhuang Lingyu reminded her anxiously. After a while, Ning Shueluo's eyes finally lit up. She hurriedly said, Mom, now that you mention it, I seem to recall that I met Lu Tingxiao's assistant, Chung Feng, at a cocktail party a few days ago. He asked me about history. Zhuang Lingyu was overjoyed. Aya, you kid. Why didn't you tell us about such a big thing earlier? Ning Shueluo said shyly. At that time, he just casually asked a few questions, and didn't say anything else. How am I supposed to explain this? Ning Yaohua was surprised and happy at the same time. Shui Luo, you are still too naive. Their special assistant came to you personally to inquire about the news. Obviously, the higher-ups are interested in your studio. It is very likely that they want to cooperate with you. No wonder the old master would send someone over for his birthday banquet. Let's go. Follow me to welcome our esteemed guests. The more Ning Shui Luo listened, the more she felt that it was possible. She immediately felt a surge of emotions and suppressed her rapid heartbeat. Yes, father. Thus, The family of three walked to the car again. Because the window wasn't wide open, they couldn't see the situation inside clearly. They could only vaguely see that there was indeed someone sitting inside. Ning Xuelua took a deep breath and said, "Are you Mr. Chung? I didn't know you were coming, and I didn't treat you well. I'm really sorry. Thank you for making this trip." Ning Xuelua continued to say nice words. However, it was as if there was no one in the car. It was quiet. Chapter 569. On the other hand, Ningxi went to say goodbye to Grandpa Shen after finishing her cake, because Lu Tingxiao and Little Bun had arrived. "Grandpa, it's getting late. I'm leaving." This time, Grandpa Ning had no excuse to keep her. He held her hand reluctantly. "Remember to come back often." "Of course." Ningxi nodded. "You only know how to coax me. I don't know when you'll come back next time. Go ahead. It's getting late. I'll get a driver to send you." "It's okay, Grandpa. I have a friend who's coming to pick me up." "All right. Be careful on the way." "'Kay. Bye, Grandpa." After saying goodbye to Grandpa and Ning Tianxin, Ningxi ran out of the door. Oh, it's time to rub the buns, of course. The buns, however, she bumped into Ning Yaohua, Zhuang Lingyu, and Ning Xuelua at the door. When Ning Xuelua saw her, she immediately greeted her with concern. "Sister, are you leaving?" "Yes." Ningxi replied impatiently. Little Bun was right in front of her, but she was blocked by others. How could she be happy? "Sister, you can't get a taxi here at night. Why don't you wait for a while? When the banquet is over, I'll ask Brother Yen to send you." Ning Xuelua said that because she knew that even if she said that, someone would not allow it. Sure enough, Zhuang Lingyu tugged at Ning Xuelua and said in a low voice, "Xuelua, you silly girl. Why are you so careless?" "Mom, it's too late now. I can't get a taxi here. It's too dangerous for me to go alone." Zhuang Lingyu signaled Ning Xuelua to stop talking. Then she walked up to Ningxi and stared at her unkindly. She questioned her without saying a word. "Ningxi, what do you want?" At this moment, Ningxi was not in a hurry to leave. She crossed her arms, twitched the corner of her mouth, and asked unhurriedly, "What does Madame Ning think I want to do?" Zhuang Lingyu snorted. She looked as if she had seen through her. "You just want the family fortune and money, don't you? I thought you had a backbone. It's not that you don't want to enter. You're just too ambitious to enter the head office." Ningxi raised an eyebrow. "I want to enter the head office? Don't tell me you didn't think about it. Why are you trying so hard to please your grandpa? You don't want to learn the good stuff, but you learn all sorts of unorthodox things. You want to come back now that you know it's not easy outside? Let me tell you." At this moment, the door of the Maybach not far away suddenly opened slowly. Zhuang Lingyu, who was still reprimanding Ningxi, noticed that the car door was opened and immediately forgot about Ningxi. She even pushed Ningxi to the back and pulled Ning Xuelua forward, saying, "It seems that Assistant Chung got off the car. Xuelua, hurry up." Ning Yaohua's face was also filled with excitement. What made him even more excited was that the person who alighted from the car wasn't Chung Feng. It was actually the Lu family's second young master, Lu Jingli. Unlike the elusive Lu Tingxiao, Lu Jingli was usually very high profile. His face was too famous, so there was no way he would mistake him for someone else. Second young master Lu came in person. It was such an honor. He thought of how envious the guests would be when they saw Lu Jingli. He thought of his father's shock and Ning Yaobang's frustration. He was so excited that his heart was trembling. Chapter 570. Ning Xuelua was completely dumbfounded. She thought that even if someone from the Lu group came, it would at most be an assistant. If it weren't for the fact that this car was Lu Tingxiao's car, she wouldn't have dared to think that it was even Lu Tingxiao's assistant. After all, Chung Feng was one of Lu Tingxiao's most trusted confidants. His status in the Lu group was very high. He wouldn't come out personally for ordinary things. He would just send one of his subordinates to run errands. So, she never thought that it would be Lu Tingxiao's biological brother, Lu Jingli, who came to visit. Seeing the admiration in Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu's eyes when they looked at her, Ning Xuelua's chest expanded. Her vanity was unprecedentedly satisfied. She excitedly walked toward Lu Jingli. Second young master. Ning Yahua finally calmed himself down with great difficulty. He put on the air of a chairman of a company and walked steadily toward Lu Jingli. Second young master Lu has come from afar. Please forgive me for not going out to meet you. Ning Yahua was halfway through his sentence, his hand still suspended in midair. Lu Jingli, who was dressed in a flashy blue suit, ignored the three of them and walked past them. His handsome face was filled with tears. Sister-in-law. As soon as he said a word, Ningxi's expression changed. Her eyes were like small flying knives, shooting 3 knives at him. Lu Jingli was so scared that he almost blurted out sister-in-law. Lu Jingli shrank his neck and looked even more aggrieved. He said weakly, "Little Cece, you're finally out. I've been waiting for you. I'm so hungry. Hurry up and get in the car. You've made the boss wait for so long. Do you want to quit your job?" Lu Jingli hurriedly switched to boss mode, although this switch was really not dignified at all. Ningxi heaved a sigh of relief. This blabbermouth bastard. She almost had a heart attack because of him. How could he shout without caring about the occasion? Unfortunately, this idiot was her superior. She couldn't hit or scold him, so she had to suppress her anger in her heart. Lu Jingli didn't care at all. He greeted her with a smile. "Aya, are you flattered that the boss came to pick you up personally? It's fine, it's fine. Anyway, it's on the way. Get in the car. Hurry, hurry, hurry." While speaking, Lu Jingli seemed to have felt 2 sharp eyes behind him whipping his soul and urging him, so he quickly finished speaking, and then like a robber he directly pulled Ningxi into the car and slammed the door shut in one go. Very good. Done. The mission was finally complete. He had finally stuffed the demon-suppressing treasure that was used to suppress the Demon Kings and Big Demon Kings. Lu Jingli didn't care how dumbfounded the 3 people behind him were. He adjusted his collar, opened the driver's door, stepped on the gas, and the black car suddenly sped away. Behind them, Ning Yaohua, Zhuang Lingyu, and Ning Xuelua's faces were still filled with excitement. They stared at the direction in which the car left, their faces filled with disbelief. They took turns to invite the person who refused to come. The second son of Lu Corporation, Lu Jingli, personally came to visit. She actually came to pick up Ningxi? How could this be possible? Moreover, although Lu Jingli's words seemed to be reproaching her, his tone was clearly very familiar, like a joke between friends. It could be seen that the two had a very good relationship. Zhuang Lingyu's face was the ugliest. She was just scolding Ningxi, saying that she was trying to take advantage of the company because she was not doing well. In the end, she actually found herself with such a person. Chapter 571. Ning Yahua's shock was no less than his wife's. He felt even more remorseful and covetous. He had tried so hard but failed to establish any connection with the Lu family, who knew that this good-for-nothing daughter of his was friends with Lu Jingli. Damn it, what a mistake! How could he forget? Ningxi had signed with Shengshi Entertainment, and it was said that Lu Jingli had poached her personally. But he had always thought that it was just a business game, and Ningxi was just a pawn. How could he have known that they were friends? Xueluo, is Ningxi close to second young master Lu? Ning Yahua asked. Ning Xuelua's nails dug into her palms as she stared in the direction of Ningxi's departure. She didn't react until Ning Yahua asked her. "I'm not sure, Dad. You know second young master Lu's personality. He's not as unapproachable as Lu Tingxiao, and he always gets along well with the employees in his company. He poached Ningxi personally, and she helped him defeat Xinghui. She's a hero, so it's understandable that they are friends." Ning Yahua nodded. "I see. Sigh, if I can get in touch with Lu Jingli, he'll be much more useful than a mere assistant like Cheng Feng." Ning Xuelua's face stiffened and she said awkwardly, "It'd be great if we can get in touch with each other, but Dad, you know that my sister has a deep misunderstanding about our family. How about I beg her?" Zhuang Lingyu couldn't stand it anymore. Beg. Lu Jingli had friends all over the world. He had one today and another tomorrow. How long would he remember her? The company has so many new employees, and he might forget about her one day. I'm just picking her up on the way. Ning Yahua's eyes suddenly lit up. Shui Luo, do you think Lu Jingli will do something to Ningxi? Ning Xueluo knew what Ning Yaohua was thinking. In fact, she had thought of it too, but she immediately denied it. Dad, that doesn't seem possible. Everyone in the industry knows that Lu Jingli never messes with female artists from his own company. Ning Yaohua sighed. He knew that their relationship didn't seem that way, but he still didn't want to give up. Anything related to the Lu family was a huge resource. Not to mention the second-in-command of the Lu group, Lu Jingli, his daughter, whom he had always regarded as a burden, might still have some value? When the three of them returned to the banquet hall, many people immediately asked them if they were from the Lu clan, causing their expressions to turn ugly. He could only say that it was a mistake. In order to save face, he even made up an excuse, saying that it was a relative with the surname Lu who came to visit, not the Lu family of the Lu group. In the car, Ningxi held little Bun in her arms, who was so sleepy that his eyes almost couldn't open. Her heart ached for him. As she coaxed him to sleep, she said, I told you it would be very late. Why didn't you wait for me at home? Lu Jingli looked bitter and resentful. He glanced at his brother and then poked his head out to complain to Ningxi in a low voice. Haha, I want to, but do you think they can wait? It had only been 5 minutes since the 2 hours had passed, and the two devils were already restless. My brother called you, but you didn't reply. You look so scary. Then you texted me to say that you would be back later, and my brother couldn't sit still anymore. He was afraid that you would be bullied there, and little Bun started to torture me. Left with no choice, I could only drive them out and wait for them here. Okay, I finally got closer to you, and the two of them were a little more peaceful. But when I saw you coming out and you were blocked, I had no choice but to go down and snatch them myself. Chapter 572. Upon hearing this, Ningxi glanced at little Bun, who was sleeping soundly in her arms, and then at the Demon King, who was working beside her. The great Demon King looked down at the documents in his hands with an incomparably calm expression, as if he had only come to accompany little Steamed Bun. It was understandable that little Steamed Bun would be anxious, but the great Demon King was actually so agitated over such a small matter. It was really hard to imagine. Wasn't Lu Jingli exaggerating? Sensing the girl's gaze on him, Lu Tingxiao looked up from the pile of documents and asked, Are you okay? Ningxi snapped out of her trance and said hurriedly, I'm fine. I'm just going home. Lu Tingxiao looked at Ningxi's relaxed expression and obviously didn't believe her, but he didn't say anything. Oh right. Lu Tingxiao, I have something to ask you. Ningxi suddenly remembered something. Huh. Ningxi frowned and said, Here's the thing. I bought a jade bead bracelet in your treasure pavilion as a gift for my grandpa. I bought it at a 20% discount and only spent 120,000 yuan. Why did someone say this bracelet was worth more than 2 million yuan, and was blessed by an eminent monk when I gave it to my grandpa as a gift? Ningxi had said so much, but Lu Tingxiao only replied with 2 words, Really? Ningxi narrowed her eyes and puffed up her cheeks. Was he not admitting that he had done it? He was still pretending. Didn't you ask the shop assistant to do it? Ningxi asked directly. Lu Tingxiao replied expressionlessly. I was overseas on a business trip. Ningxi was stunned. She blinked and then blinked again and again, dumbfounded. Right. You were in Philadelphia on a business trip. Since he was overseas, how could he have known what had happened and gotten someone to help her out of trouble? That's weird. What's going on? That old grandpa seems to be quite powerful. I didn't see wrongly. Hey Lu Tingxiao, your shop assistant seems to have sold the wrong thing. As the boss, aren't you going to do anything about it? Ningxi mumbled. Lu Tingxiao nodded. Yeah. I'll reward him later. Ningxi was speechless. Lu Jingli. I'm suddenly not hungry anymore. He was full of dog food, hee. Ningxi completely gave up arguing with Lu Tingxiao. At this moment, she had something more annoying. She said with a headache, By the way, because of this jade string, I was arranged to go on a blind date for no reason. What? What? Lu Jingli suddenly tensed up. If he had a tail behind him, it would be wagging excitedly and asking, Little Cece, what blind date? What blind date? Blind date. Lu Tingxiao's calm face began to waver. Ningxi held her chin and sighed with great melancholy. At that time, there was a very powerful old grandpa who recognized the origin of my jade string because he also had a consecrated one. It was given to him by his grandson. He said that his grandson and I were destined to be together. After chatting with my grandpa for a long time, he inexplicably wanted to introduce his grandson to me. Then my grandpa saw his grandson's photo and thought that he looked good, so he agreed. They even arranged a time to meet. My grandpa even told me about this before I left. Lu Jingli, who was standing aside, was stunned. Fuck. Is that even possible? Little Cece, are you really going to go? How could he say this? Sister-in-law had only gone out for a trip. How could his brother have a love rival as soon as she came back? It was too cruel. Chapter 573. Lu Jingli was horrified and nervously looked at Ningxi from the rearview mirror. Cece, you are more unruly than me. Surely you won't go on a blind date, which is against your nature, right? The corner of Ningxi's mouth twitched. Unruly my ass. No matter how unruly I am. That was arranged for me by my grandfather, okay? When I went back this time, I found that his health was much worse than before, and his hair was all white. Lu Jingli's heart skipped a beat. He was doomed. From what she said, it seemed that his brother was doomed. Cece, there are many ways to express your filial piety. Don't take it too hard. Are you really going to go? Lu Jingli asked anxiously. After Lu Jingli asked, he subconsciously looked at his brother from the rearview mirror. He had thought that his brother would definitely be frozen and snowy, but he didn't expect that he would be so quiet and unresponsive. Seeing his reaction, Lu Jingli was even more afraid. At this moment, Lu Tingxiao was really quiet, but this was not true calmness. Instead, it was like a dead silence after being suppressed to the extreme. He wanted to appear in front of her openly, wanted to protect her personally, wanted to kiss her in front of everyone, even when she was dressed in women's clothes. He wanted to tell everyone that this person was his, and he wanted to forbid anyone from touching her. However, now he didn't even have the right to pursue her openly, let alone declare his sovereignty. His identity was special, and now Ningxi was in the critical period of her career. If she got involved with him, all her efforts would be in vain. At that time, no matter how hard she worked, all her success would be considered because of his support. He liked the way she worked hard for her dream, and didn't want to ruin everything for her because of his selfishness. Ningxi was wondering how to deal with this matter in a way that satisfied both sides, when she inadvertently met Lu Tingxiao's eyes. What a pair of eyes. They were obviously cold and alienated, as if nothing in the world could enter his world, but at a glance, she could see the hidden heat in the depths of his eyes, which was as hot as volcanic magma that almost burned her to ashes. The car suddenly became quiet. Lu Jingli looked at his brother and then at Ningxi. His handsome face suddenly darkened. Hey, you two, when you stare at each other affectionately, can you pay attention to the other people in the car? After a moment, Lu Jingli said, Okay, I was wrong, I am not a human. Continue to ignore me, woof woof. Pearl River Imperial View. After sending Ningxi and Little Bun downstairs, Lu Jingli didn't leave but looked at Ningxi pitifully. Sister-in-law, I'm so hungry. I want to eat your hot pot. Holding Xiaobaozi, Ningxi narrowed her eyes and said coldly, What did you call me? Lu Jingli immediately. Ningxi was satisfied. Didn't you have dinner tonight? As soon as I got off work, I went straight to your place and ate some snacks in the car. Brother didn't even have a meal. Lu Jingli continued to act pitiful. He hadn't found out how Ningxi was going to deal with the blind date. He couldn't leave, or he wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. Ningxi looked helpless. Fortunately, she had taken Xiaobao to eat before she sent him there. Otherwise, he would have starved together. She knew that it was unreliable to rely on a man to take care of a child. Ningxi was so shocked that she didn't dare to look into Lu Tingxiao's eyes. She said, Okay, let's go upstairs together. I'm a little hungry. Chapter 574. When passing by the front desk, Ningxi looked bitter and resentful. She muttered indignantly, You're so annoying. What's wrong? Lu Jingli asked casually. Ningxi said with a pained expression. The receptionist of our apartment used to be a super cute girl. I gave her a box of lipstick on the first day she came here. Later, we got along very well and often gossiped with me. Later, I don't know which crazy leader replaced the receptionist with a rough uncle. Oh, I'm so angry. Give me back my cute girl. Lu Jingli's first reaction was to turn his head and look at his brother, who looked extremely calm as if he had not done anything bad at all. Haha, who did it? Was it necessary to ask? His brother's rivals in love were really everywhere. He was busy enough dealing with his rivals in love every day. After going upstairs and getting out of the elevator, Ningxi was walking in the direction of her own door. When she just reached the corner, she suddenly stopped and stepped back with Xiaobao in her arms. Cici, what's wrong with you? You look like you've seen a ghost. Lu Jingli behind her was puzzled. Lu Tingxiao had already seen someone at Ningxi's door from the corner of his eye and couldn't help but frown slightly. Ningxi sighed with a headache. Su Yan. What? Su Yan? Your first love? What happened to him? He's at my door. Lu Jingli's eyes immediately widened. Damn. What does he want to do at your door in the middle of the night? Cici, I'll help you beat him up. Ningxi rolled her eyes at Lu Jingli and turned to Lu Tingxiao. Help me carry Xiaobao. I'll deal with it soon. Lu Tingxiao nodded. Okay. Lu Jingli looked at his brother's gentle and virtuous face, and the corner of his mouth twitched. You can really pretend to be a little white rabbit in front of your wife, but in fact, your heart is already full of blood. Su Yan was leaning against Ningxi's door with a cigarette between his fingers. He looked like he was lost in thought, and no one knew what he was thinking. It was not until Ningxi had already walked in front of him that he noticed her, and suddenly looked up. Cici, you're back. Ningxi nodded. Is the banquet over? And I sent Shueluo over and came to see you on the way. I thought you had already reached home. Did something happen on the way? Su Yan asked with concern. He did not know that Ningxi was picked up by Lu Jingli. No, there's a traffic jam. What can I do for you? Ningxi said perfunctorily. It was all because Lu Jingli only cared about gossiping with her and drove at a snail's pace. I was too busy at Biyuan just now. I didn't have time to talk to you properly. Su Yan looked at her, hesitating to speak. It's too late, and it's not convenient to invite you in. If you have something to say, just say it. Ningxi said. Su Yan hesitated for a while and finally said, There's something I want to remind you. Cici, if you want to go back to the Ning family now, I'm afraid your identity will be a bit awkward. Oh? How so? Ningxi raised her eyebrows slightly when she heard this, and looked like she was humbly asking for advice. Under the dim light, the girl's bright, glass-like eyes were unbelievably beautiful. Su Yan's breathing stagnated, and his mind was almost taken away. For a moment he forgot what he wanted to say, and only came back to his senses after being in a daze for a long time. Chapter 575. Su Yan's expression was a little awkward when he realized his gaffe. He coughed lightly and continued. In the past 5 years, the structure and division of power in Ning's International have been fixed. In this case, if there is another competitor for the successor, the consequences will be unpredictable. Ningxi took a playful look at the man in front of her and said calmly, What if? I want Ning's International group? Su Yan's gentle face darkened and he said seriously, Xiaoxi, don't mess around. This involves too much. If you insist on getting involved in this mess, you will only get yourself hurt. You affect those people's interests. How can they let you go? Ningxi snorted. Oh, those people's interests. Whose interests are they? He always pretended to be sorry and wanted to take care of her. But as soon as his interests were involved, he would change his attitude. Su Yan looked at Ningxi's mocking eyes and felt a sting in his heart. He hurriedly said, Xiaoxi, you misunderstood me. I'm not doing this for myself, and I don't care about the Ning family's property. I'm just afraid. It will be difficult for me to choose between you and Shueluo. Ningxi stretched herself and glanced at him. What's so difficult about it? Do you have a second choice between Ning Shueluo and me? Looking at the girl's slightly raised lips and the disdain in her eyes, Su Yan suddenly clenched his fists and his eyes gradually darkened. After a long while, he finally calmed down. He sighed softly and didn't dare to look at the girl's eyes. Even if it was 5 years ago, he would not hesitate to choose Xuelua, because he loved Xuelua. Love was selfish. Even if he knew Xuelua did something wrong, he still chose to protect her. But now he didn't know what was going on with him. Since Ningxi returned to China, his eyes had been following her involuntarily, and recently it was getting harder and harder to control this impulse. He had always been clear about what he wanted, and a woman like Ning Xueluo was the perfect partner in his ideal world. But why was it that his deep-rooted understanding was crumbling bit by bit? Even tonight, even if he wanted to avoid arousing suspicion, he shouldn't have come so late. But he still came, because he wanted to see her, even if it was just to listen to her sarcastic remarks. Su Yan calmed himself down and softened his tone. Cici, what I said is for your own good. I hope you can think about it. If you need any help, feel free to contact me. He still wanted to say something, but found that there was nothing left to say between the two of them. His face was gloomy as he said, "It's too late. I won't disturb you anymore. Good night." At the same time in the corner, Lu Jingli's eyes were shining. He could not help but say in a low voice, Aye, my sixth sense has caught a trace of an unusual aura. This Su Yan, the way he looks at little Cici doesn't seem right." As soon as he finished speaking, the depression that Lu Tingxiao had been suppressing for a whole night suddenly burst forth. Lu Jingli was so scared that his hair stood on end. He wiped his sweat and muttered to himself, Hey, what's going on? Brother, are you suffering from a stroke? Why are you so unlucky? Love rivals come one after another, and I don't know what's going on, but I keep feeling uneasy. I keep feeling like something big is going to happen. I'm so scared. Chapter 576. After entering the house, Ningxi first took Xiaobao to the bedroom to sleep, and then opened the refrigerator to find ingredients and base. Thanks to Xiaobao, she bought a lot of food after Xiaobao came. The refrigerator was full of all kinds of ingredients and seasonings, so it was not difficult to make a hot pot. Lu Tingxiao naturally took the vegetables from Ningxi's hands and helped her wash them. Ningxi glanced at him and rolled up his sleeves. Lu Jingli felt that he was too bright, so he stayed in the living room to watch TV. Soon the dishes were ready. The hot pot base was bubbling and exuded a tempting aroma. Lu Jingli couldn't stand it anymore. He rushed over and looked at the pot base on the table. It was half clear and half red soup, and he was stunned. Hey Cici, did you make a yuanyang pot? Your brother can't eat spicy food. Ningxi answered casually while setting the bowl and chopsticks. Oh. Lu Jingli bit his chopsticks and his eyes darted around. I say, little Cici, do you like my brother? Cough, cough, cough. Ningxi choked on her saliva and almost bit her tongue. She looked at Lu Tingxiao in a panic and said, What nonsense are you talking about? You are so nice to my brother, Lu Jingli muttered. Are there any subordinates who don't please the boss? Can't you control your imagination for a bit? Next time you slander me for coveting the boss, I will beat you up. Ningxi immediately expressed her innocence, and then handed a pair of chopsticks to Lu Tingxiao. Boss, don't listen to his nonsense. Heaven and earth can prove my sincerity to you. I absolutely have no bad intentions. Lu Tingxiao took the chopsticks and glanced at her. Yes. Lu Jingli, Ningxi. After eating for a while, Lu Jingli rubbed his half-full belly with satisfaction. He finally had the energy to gossip again. Little Cici, can I ask you a question? He asked. What do you want to ask? Well, how do you feel about Su Yan? Lu Tingxiao's hand that was serving Ningxi paused slightly. What do you mean? Oh my God, do you still have feelings for him? Why do you want me to say it so clearly? Ningxi rolled her eyes at him. Do you think it's possible? Lu Jingli bit his chopsticks. Why not? Isn't the first love the most unforgettable and unforgettable? After saying that, he gave his brother a meaningful look. Wasn't Ningxi his brother's first love? Why did everyone think that she still had feelings for Su Yan? Ning Tianxin was like this, and so was Lu Jingli. Ningxi took a bite of the potato and said unhappily, "The world is so big and there are so many handsome guys out there. I'm not a little girl who didn't see the world. Do I have to hang on that tree all the time? I already have someone I like, okay." As soon as he finished speaking, not only Lu Jingli, but even Lu Tingxiao's back stiffened. Lu Jingli naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity to inquire about the situation. He immediately followed up on this topic and asked, "I think I've heard you mention it before. Who is the person you're talking about? What did that guy look like? Was he handsome? More handsome than yours truly? What kind of man can make brother she like him? Tell me, tell me, tell me." Looking at Lu Jingli's excited little face, Ningxi was speechless. "Let me think about it." Think. Lu Tingxiao sat there in silence. He suddenly didn't want to continue listening, but he couldn't leave, even though he knew the answer was a sharp knife. Chapter 577. Ningxi rubbed her chin and glanced at Lu Tingxiao out of the corner of her eye. She thought about it seriously and then answered. He's powerful, domineering, talented, gentle, romantic, witty, brave, mature, and steady. He's unparalleled in 1,000 years. He's so good at strategizing that he outshines the moon, the flowers, the fish, and the geese. He's so beautiful that he's walking on colorful clouds. Lu Jingli. Lu Tingxiao. After a long while, Lu Jingli came back to his senses and the corners of his mouth twitched. "Are you sure you're talking about a human? He's even walking on colorful clouds. Do you have to be so dramatic?" Lu Tingxiao couldn't describe his feelings at the moment. Ningxi's description was a little exaggerated, but he knew how perfect that person was in her heart. "Humph, if you knew who he was, you wouldn't think I was exaggerating." Ningxi mumbled. Lu Jingli asked, "Then who is he?" Ningxi narrowed her eyes and stuffed a cream bun into Lu Jingli's mouth. "Are you trying to get information out of me? Save it." Lu Jingli swallowed the bun. "You're so stingy. Since you already have someone you like, do you still want to go on a blind date?" He couldn't get any information out of her, but he had to figure out the urgent matter at hand. Ningxi sighed. "I still have to go. I have to explain it to him. Otherwise, wouldn't it be embarrassing for my grandpa if I just stood him up?" Lu Tingxiao's expression softened. He had expected this answer, but the possessiveness in his bones overrode his rationality. Even though he knew, he still couldn't calm down. Who could accept his wife going on a blind date? The next day. During the day, Ningxi took Xiaobao to the studio for a walk. In the evening, because she had an appointment with old Master Shi's grandson, she went to Lu Enterprises to send Xiaobao over. Although it wasn't her first time going to the company, every time she went there, she would still get a lot of stares. All of them wanted to take off her mask to see who she was. She went upstairs and had just stepped out of the elevator when a young girl suddenly plucked up the courage to rush up to her. "Miss Su, I really like your movies. Can I have your autograph?" Ningxi raised her eyebrows. "Miss Su? Who? Could it be?" Ningxi quickly reacted. Did he think she was Su Yimo? Looking at the little girl's anxious and expectant expression, Ningxi really couldn't bear to refuse. In fact, she knew that the girl didn't really want her autograph. She was testing her identity. If she signed it, it would mean that she was Su Yimo. If she didn't sign it, it would mean that she wasn't. Just as she was thinking about what to do, Lu Tingxiao walked straight towards her. As soon as the little girl saw Lu Tingxiao, she ran away faster than a rabbit. Ningxi didn't see how she disappeared. Anyway, she disappeared in the blink of an eye. You couldn't blame the young lady for running away so quickly. Her boss was in a bad mood today. During the morning meeting, he scared a few department heads to tears. She was just a small secretary. In order to avoid being caught, she naturally had to hide as far away as possible. Seeing Xiaobao in Ningxi's arms, Lu Tingxiao's face darkened. "You're an adult and you still want to carry me?" Xiaobao buried his little head in Ningxi's shoulder and looked aggrieved. "Aunt Xiaoxi, Papa shouted at me." Chapter 578. Ningxi immediately touched Xiaobao's head and argued. "How old is he? He's only 5 years old. What Xiaobao needs now is not to grow up, but to return to 4 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old, to learn how to be a child. Lu Tingxiao sighed and softened his tone. I'm afraid your hands will be tired. Then he paused and said in a low voice, Are you going now? Ningxi looked at the time on her phone. Yes, it's almost time. Lu Tingxiao's eyes changed several times before he finally calmed down. Go ahead, be careful. I know, Ningxi put Xiaobao down and gave him a big hug as usual. Outside the CEO's office, a supervisor was holding a stack of documents in his arms, shaking his legs while taking out a quick-acting cardioplegia to get ready to go in. Behind him, Lu Jingli put his hand on the man's shoulder and shook his head with a sigh. Don't take it out. Even a quick-acting cardioplegia can't save you. With my brother's condition today, you'll die if you go in now. The supervisor turned his head and looked at the man as if he was mourning. Second young master, save me. You deserve it. You dared to slack off when my brother was in a good mood. Now you're in trouble. Lu Jingli complained mercilessly. He didn't even think about the fact that he was an expert at slacking off. It was just that he was lucky that he wasn't caught this time. Second young master. I have a family to take care of. My wife is about to give birth to a second child. The supervisor almost knelt down. Fuck. Are you trying to provoke me? Lu Jingli was furious. How dare I? That's not what I meant. The supervisor said bitterly. Why did even second young master look like he had taken gunpowder today? Lu Jingli snorted a few times. Looking at his unlucky face, he kindly said, Don't go in today and court death. My brother doesn't have the mood to care about your stupid matter. Hurry up and go back to work on your plan. Yes, I'll go right away. Thank you, second young master. The supervisor left gratefully. Lu Jingli pushed open the door and entered the office. There was a tatami placed by the window in the office, obviously for Xiaobao to look at his Aunt Xiaoxi. The corner of Lu Jingli's mouth twitched. Now that he could see her every day, why did she still look like she was longing for his return? She looked at her brother again. He was sitting in front of his desk with a serious expression. He was holding a fountain pen in his right hand and a few documents in his left hand. He looked like he was working hard, but his expression showed that he had already gone on a mental journey. Lu Jingli coughed lightly. Brother, are you sure you want to continue pretending to be virtuous? If he continued to pretend to be a wife, she would be gone. I say, you're really something. Just use a little trick to stop that she-brat from going. Lu Tingxiao glanced at him. Do you think Ningxi wouldn't have guessed that I was the one who did it? Moreover, doing this would not solve the root of the problem. How about I help you find a woman to pretend to be that kid's ex-girlfriend or something to cause trouble? Wouldn't Cici be able to leave in this way? Lu Jingli continued to help him come up with ideas. No. The possibility of being exposed on the spot was very high. As cautious as Lu Tingxiao was, he naturally wouldn't use any flawed strategies. This won't work, and that won't work. What should we do? Brother, I'm not trying to scare you. Although Cici said she was just going to explain, what if the other party happens to be the type that Cici likes? Everything is possible. Lu Jingli said earnestly. Chapter 579. Lu Tingxiao put down the pen in his hand, tapped the table with his fingers, and slowly looked at his son on the tatami opposite him. Lu Jingli followed Lu Tingxiao's gaze and asked, Well, brother, what do you want to do? Lu Tingxiao got up, walked towards his son and said, Xiaobao, I want to take you out for dinner. Lu Jingli said, Well, brother, are you going to? Damn it. He was not satisfied with all the ideas he had thought of just now, but his own idea was to take nuclear weapons with Xiaobao? Very good, he was a big devil. However, a certain nuclear weapon didn't seem to cooperate well. Hearing Papa's words, Xiaobao was completely indifferent and wrote a word on the writing board full. Auntie Xiaoxi had already fed him before leaving, and she cooked the dishes herself. Lu Tingxiao pinched his eyebrows and said, I want to take you to see Auntie Xiaoxi. Within 3 seconds, Xiaobao put down his little hand that was holding his chin and looking out of the window, rolled down the tatami, put on his little shoes, ran to Papa, and opened his little short hands. Lu Tingxiao. Lu Jingli. Nuclear weapons were so easy to control. Seeing that the father and son were ready to set off, Lu Jingli wagged his tail and followed them decisively. I want to eat too. Yes, eat. Half an hour later, in a stylish Japanese restaurant. There was a low table for eating in a Japanese restaurant. Guests took off their shoes and then sat on the ground. The dim light gave people a sense of relaxation. The person Ning she was waiting for hadn't arrived yet, so she ordered a cup of sake with a low alcohol content and drank it by herself while waiting for them. She didn't notice that just behind her, the big and small devils and Lu Jingli had all arrived. After entering the box, Xiaobao recognized Auntie Xiaoxi by her back and was about to run to her. Lu Tingxiao stopped his son and said no. Xiaobao's little face was tense, and his face was full of why not? You promised to take me to see Auntie Xiaoxi. Lu Tingxiao glanced at his son and said, I took you to see Auntie Xiaoxi, but you can only see her. Xiaobao. I've been tricked. After being taken to the seat behind Aunt Xiaoxi, Xiaobao looked unhappy. However, because Aunt Xiaoxi was right in front of him, and he could see her as soon as he looked up, his mood instantly became much better. After sitting down, Lu Jingli looked at Ning Shi, who was sitting alone opposite him. TSK, didn't little Cece say that we have an appointment at 7 o'clock? It's already 7:10. You're late for your first date. Points deducted. Although I haven't seen that Shi Shiqing, I don't think he's a strong competitor. There shouldn't be a chance for me to make a move. About 10 minutes later, Ning Shi had almost drunk a pot of wine, but she still hadn't arrived. Lu Jingli, who was behind him, suddenly felt a little dispirited. Don't tell me he's not coming. To think we were so nervous for so long. As soon as he finished speaking, the curtain in front of them was lifted by a white and slender finger, and then a man in a plain suit came in. The man had short hair that was as black as ink and a tall figure. His appearance wasn't the stunning type, but his temperament was gentle and refined. It was easy for others to have a good impression of him and trust him. The most special thing about him was that he had an otherworldly feeling that was detached from the secular world. Just a glance at him would cause others to calm down and be in a peaceful Buddhist realm. Oh my God, he's the best. The moment he saw the man, Lu Jingli suddenly had an ominous premonition. Chapter 580. Buddha, please don't let this person be. Lu Jingli was just about to say that he hoped this person wasn't Shi Shiqing, when he heard Lu Tingxiao say, Shi Shiqing. Lu Jingli was dumbfounded. Fuck. It can't be. Is he really Shi Shiqing? Is Shi Shiqing? While he was still in shock, he saw the man take off his shoes and politely tell the waiter that he had an appointment. Then, he followed the waiter straight towards Ning Shi's direction. Hello, Miss Ning? Ning Shi had already finished her first pot and was drinking the restaurant's special cherry blossom wine. When she heard someone talking to her, and the voice was very comfortable, she subconsciously raised her head. After seeing the man in front of her, Ning Shi was obviously startled for a moment before she reacted. She stood up and said, Yes, I'm Ning Shi. Mr. Shi? The man nodded. Hello, Shi Shiqing. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. It's fine. Have a seat. I didn't wait long. Ning Shi sat down again nonchalantly. Shi Shiqing took off his suit jacket and put it on the hanger beside him. Then he sat on the ground. Shi Shiqing's sitting posture was very standard. On the other hand, Ning Shi, a girl should usually kneel down properly, but she didn't. She sat boldly and boldly. One of her legs was bent, and the hand on the same side casually rested on her knee. She was more manly than a man. But even so, she didn't give off the impression of being rude. She was wearing wide-legged pants and her favorite embroidered motorcycle jacket. She gave off a free and easy vibe just by sitting there. She didn't have the constricting vibe of a Japanese restaurant at all. Ning Shi had heard from her grandfather that the Shi family was a literary family, so the descendants of the Shi family should prefer educated, gentle, and pleasant women. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, she did the opposite and specially dressed like this today. However, her plan didn't seem to work. After Shi Shiqing saw her, not only did he not feel disgust or contempt, but a trace of imperceptible admiration flashed across his eyes. Behind her, Lu Jingli was already shouting anxiously, It's over, it's over. Could it be that the two of them fell for each other? Did you notice the look in Xiao Cixi's eyes when she got up and saw Shi Shiqing? She was obviously stunned for a moment. She was obviously stunned. Moreover, Shi Shiqing looked at Cici with admiration in his eyes. Damn it! Wasn't he supposed to like the pretty daughter of a humble family? Our Cici is dressed so provocatively today. Lu Tingxiao took a sip of tea. His expression was still calm. If one didn't look at his tightened lips and the strength of his fingers that were gradually turning white as he gripped the teacup. Lu Jingli was still scratching his ears and cheeks as he analyzed. This Shi Shiqing is a little tricky. Although he's not as handsome as this young master, his aura is really special. Even from a man's point of view, it's very attractive. People couldn't help but want to get to know and befriend him. What's even more frightening is that, with little Cici's relatively unruly character, there is a great possibility that she will fall in love with someone like Shi Shiqing, who is the complete opposite of her character. Crack. The teacup in Lu Tingxiao's hand broke into pieces. Lu Jingli swallowed his saliva. No. I was just guessing. That was impossible. Didn't Cici say that she already had someone she liked? She won't fall in love with Shi Shiqing. As soon as his voice fell, his brother's face obviously turned even uglier. Chapter 581. Lu Jingli shut his mouth and no longer dared to speak. In such a situation, anything he said was too dangerous. On the other side, Ningxi and Shi Shiqing had already begun to talk. Although there was some distance between them, the restaurant was quite quiet. If one listened carefully, one could hear what they were talking about. Because he was late, Shi Shiqing felt that he should explain the reason out of basic courtesy, so he said, "I'm really sorry. I saw an old man fall on the way, so I sent him to the hospital, so I wasted some time." Ningxi could not help but laugh when she heard this. If any other man were to say this to me, I would definitely think that there was something wrong with his IQ. Even the excuse he made was so insincere. But I believe in your words, Mr. Shi. You really look like the kind of person who would help an old lady cross the road and send a lost child home. Shi Shiqing couldn't help but laugh. Miss Ning, are you saying that I look like a good person? Ningxi nodded. More than that. Not only is he a good person, but he's also at the level of Golden Cicada. He's Tripitaka, you know? Shi Shiqing didn't know whether to laugh or cry at her interesting description. His eyes darkened. Miss Ning, you are very interesting. Ningxi's heart skipped a beat when she heard that. It was the first time she had seen such a special person. She couldn't help but flirt with him casually. Thus, he coughed lightly and quickly got down to business. It's like this, Mr. Shi, I'll get straight to the point. Actually, I don't have any intention of going on a blind date. But grandfather has already arranged for me to make an appointment with you. So I have no choice but to come here and explain the situation to you. I hope I can gain your understanding. Shi Shiqing didn't seem to be angry or dissatisfied when he heard this, but something seemed to fall from the depths of his eyes. Behind her, Lu Jingli heard Ningxi's words and suddenly pricked up his ears. He finally regained some energy and said, "Good job, little Cici. You KO'd him." Hearing Ningxi's words, Shi Shiqing immediately expressed his understanding. I understand. Although it's a pity, I respect your wishes. Hearing this, Ningxi raised her eyebrows slightly. A little regret? Was he interested in her? No way. There wasn't a single part of her body that matched this man's taste today, right? He was probably just being polite, right? Oh, this type of man is possible. So you don't have to feel pressured. Let's just treat this as a meal between friends, okay? Shi Shiqing said. Ningxi suddenly realized something. Although this man's looks weren't stunning, his voice was too fucking nice. It was simply Sue. Since the other party had said so and was so cooperative, Ningxi naturally couldn't refuse. Of course. Behind him, Lu Jingli bit into a piece of salmon. Damn it. I've misjudged. She had thought that he was a holy monk who didn't lust after women, but it turned out that he was also lustful. In such a situation, if there's no meaning in it, he should just pay the bill and leave. He actually wants to have a meal together, and even said that he's a friend. He's obviously up to something. Lu Jingli kept complaining, And Lu Tingxiao didn't look too good either. Xiaobao, who was admiring Xiaoxi's back, finally realized something was wrong. Well, why was Aunt Xiaoxi eating with another uncle she didn't know? Xiaobao pursed his lips, thought for a moment, and then wrote 2 words on the writing board. Date? Chapter 582. Xiaobao pursed his lips, thought for a while, and then wrote 2 words on the writing board. Date? If he didn't understand, he would humbly ask for advice. Was Aunt Xiaoxi on a date? Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli looked at the question on Xiaobao's writing board at the same time. Lu Jingli sighed and looked at Xiaobao as if looking at a poor child who was about to be abandoned by his mother. Baby, this is more terrible than a date. This is called a blind date. Do you know what it means? Xiaobao shook his head honestly. A blind date is one of the traditional wedding etiquette in China. It is also called a matchmaking ceremony, an interview, and a face-to-face meeting. It is usually arranged by a matchmaking agency or a human resources department, a family, or a matchmaker, and then the parents of the 2 parties meet and discuss the marriage. Lu Jingli explained a little, but Xiaobao still looked innocent and didn't understand. So Lu Jingli had to say something. A blind date means that your Aunt Xiaoxi is going to be taken away by another man. She is going to have another baby with another man. The moment Lu Jingli finished his words, Xiaobao's little face fell. Aunt Xiaoxi is going to have another baby with another man. Another baby, another baby. Poor Xiaobao's mind was completely occupied by these words. And without any warning, he began to burst into tears within a second and couldn't stop. Lu Jingli just wanted to tease him, but he didn't expect that it would go too far. Seeing Xiaobao crying like this, he immediately panicked. Hey baby, don't cry. Lu Tingxiao glanced at Lu Jingli like a knife, and then pulled Xiaobao to his side. A blind date is just a way for men and women to get to know each other. It's far from marriage, not to mention that she has just refused him. Now she is just having a meal with him. Lu Tingxiao explained patiently. However, Xiaobao was so hurt just now that he couldn't listen to anything at all. His tears flowed like a river, and he cried so hard that he almost couldn't breathe. Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli, 2 big men who didn't know how to coax children at all, looked at Xiaobao who was crying so hard, and were confused on the other side. Ningxi still had no idea what kind of earth-shattering thing had happened behind her. He had just drunk 2 pots of wine. Although the alcohol content was not high, he was still a little tipsy. In addition, Shi Shiqing's temperament was too much of a cheat. It was too easy to let people down, so he could not help but relax. While drinking and eating sashimi, he chatted with Shi Shiqing about some safe topics. Ah, are you in the jewelry business? It just so happens that I'm starting a fashion studio recently, and I will definitely need jewelry and other accessories. At that time, I will shamelessly ask you for help. Ningxi suddenly had the responsibility of being a boss, and took the opportunity to pull in business. Miss Ning is too serious. You can contact me at any time if you need anything. After chatting for a while, Shi Shiqing asked, Miss Ning, I don't know if you remember, but many years ago we met once. Hearing this, Ningxi sobered up a little. Really? It doesn't make sense that I don't have any impression of you even though I've seen you before. After all, Shi Shiqing was quite a special person. Hearing this, Shi Shiqing took a sip of wine, and his eyes wavered as he said, At that time, your eyes were on another person, so naturally you wouldn't notice anyone. Chapter 583. No matter how dazzling he was in her eyes, he was probably transparent, not to mention that he was just a kid in university at that time. Ningxi blinked. Listening to this voice, it sounded like when she was infatuated with Su Yan 5 years ago. However, she really couldn't remember seeing Shi Shiqing, so she was a little curious. Under what circumstances did he see her? It had been 5 years, but he still remembered. Really? When? Ningxi asked casually. 5 years ago, your 18th birthday party. Shi Shiqing answered. Ningxi shook the wine glass in her hand. After all, that was her worst day. Shi Shiqing revealed a look of reminiscence, and slowly said, You know, my grandfather and your grandfather have a good relationship, so I also went to that birthday party. I remember that you were wearing a white dress, and the first time I saw you, I was very surprised. You were like a natural princess. Hearing Shi Shiqing's description, Ningxi really didn't know what to say. Ha, princess. Obviously, Mr. Shi's memory is not complete. That dress was a fake, and was later exposed in public. Shi Shiqing lightly interrupted her. Is it important whether it's real or fake? Even if the ugly duckling was born in a flock of ducks, she is still a swan, and nothing will change. That was the most memorable day of his life, because it was the first time he fell in love with a girl at first sight, and then watched helplessly as that girl was bullied, and he could do nothing about it. After that, he probably never went to the Ning family again. Hearing this, Ningxi's heart skipped a beat, and her eyes gradually darkened. Oh, Mr. Shi, you seem to know more than I thought? Only then did Shi Shiqing realize that he seemed to have lost his composure, and said too many things that he shouldn't have said. Sorry, I didn't mean to hear it. Because his gaze had been following her, he had unintentionally heard some things that he shouldn't have heard. After knowing about it, he felt even more sorry for her, and hated his own incompetence. 5 years later, he became famous, but he still couldn't let go of that matter, until his grandfather suddenly told him that he had arranged a blind date for him. Originally, he wanted to directly refuse, but he didn't expect his grandfather to say that the other party was the young miss of the Ning family. The young miss of the Ning family, Ning Xuelua, was about to be engaged, so who else could it be? He didn't dare to think about it, so he asked again if it was Ning Tianxin. However, the name that came out of his grandfather's mouth was Ning Shi, which he didn't even dare to think about. She had disappeared for 5 years. Was she finally back? Because he never paid attention to the entertainment industry, nor did he read the entertainment news, he didn't even know a few of the popular stars. He was almost a dead person, so he didn't know that she had returned a year ago and had even become an actress. In order to have a common topic with her, he read all of her works, as well as all of the news and headlines related to her. All these years, he had been living a pure and simple life. He especially loved Buddhism, and his favorite place to visit was the temple. He would discuss Buddhism with his masters, and his family was worried that he would become a monk. He didn't expect her to appear at this time. While Ningxi and Shi Shiqing were reminiscing about the past, behind them, the little devil king had been completely demonized. Lu Jingli and Lu Tingxiao took turns to try countless methods, but none of them worked. They couldn't coax him at all. Lu Jingli was about to kneel down. As long as you don't cry. Chapter 584. It's nothing. If you know, then you know. Ningxi shrugged nonchalantly. However, because of Shi Shiqing's words, her heart was still a little moved. She didn't expect that on the most miserable day of her life, on the day when she thought that she would be separated from the whole world, there was someone who stood on her side unknowingly. This gave her an indescribable feeling, as if she was being redeemed. It turned out that this world wasn't so unbearable, so incorrigible. Oh, as expected of a man who looked like the reincarnation of Buddha. This ability to deliver all living beings from suffering was simply amazing. Shi Shiqing heard her say this and heaved a sigh of relief. Back then, I always felt very regretful and guilty that I couldn't help you. If you need anything now, please be sure to tell me. I won't hesitate to go through water and tread on fire. This Shi Shiqing, wasn't he too kind? She almost couldn't help but give him a good guy card. Ningxi smiled and raised her glass to toast him. Mr. Shi, you're not Buddha. You can't deliver all living beings from suffering. I don't want to deliver all living beings from suffering, only you. Shi Shiqing blurted out, looking a little anxious. As soon as he finished speaking, a blush appeared on that otherworldly face. Ningxi was startled, her heart skipping a beat. This isn't quite right behind her. Xiaobao, don't cry, okay? Second uncle knows he's wrong. Second uncle won't talk nonsense anymore. Please, if you cry again, I'm going to cry too. Sob, sob, sob. Lu Jingli was in a terrible fix when he noticed Shi Shiqing saying, I don't want to deliver all living beings from suffering, only you on Ningxi's side, which was almost like a confession. He was instantly dumbfounded. Fuck. You can't judge a book by its cover. Why is this Shi Shiqing so good at sweet talking? Looking at his crying son and the two people in front of him, Lu Tingxiao could only feel a familiar but forcefully suppressed hostility lingering in his internal organs. He had an urge to destroy everything that got close to her. After saying that, Shi Shiqing subconsciously wanted to explain that he didn't mean that, but for some reason he changed his mind. He didn't say anything and just quietly waited for the girl's reaction. Explain. Why did he have to explain? He had waited for 5 years for this day. How much longer do I have to wait? Ningxi was bewildered by Shi Shiqing's attitude. There seemed to be footsteps behind her, followed by a shadow falling on the low table in front of her. Then, she saw Shi Shiqing staring behind her with a surprised expression. Ningxi's heart skipped a beat. She subconsciously turned her head away. Then he saw the gloomy face of the great demon king and the little bun in his arms, whose eyes were red from crying. Ningxi. Why are Lu Tingxiao and Xiaobao here? One big and one small. The big one was silent while the small one was crying his heart out. He was trying his best to get her to hug him. She was sitting there with a man in front of her. What kind of déjà vu is this? Like a husband bringing his child to catch an adulterer. Ningxi was so shocked that she froze for a while, and didn't pick up Xiaobao. Seeing that Aunt Xiaoxi didn't hug him, little Bun was heartbroken. His tears rolled down like a floodgate. He sobbed and tried very hard to open his mouth as if he wanted to say something, but he couldn't say a word. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.